Hi there and welcome to this week's Growth Execution webinar. We're here every week to talk to you about growth execution, how you can make your business grow and grow faster. We deal with a different question every week. This week it is all about how can I make selling easier. Now, one of the things about sales is it's frequently sort of tacked on the end, just as a not quite an afterthought, but when an entrepreneur or business owner gets their business together, launches it, has the marketing all right, and then the product itself or the service doesn't fly off the shelves, it's often at that point that said entrepreneur decides that they need to deploy a sales team. They need to do it earlier, for one, but certainly one of the key things they need to do is to really get to grips with what sales involves. Now, sales at its heart is all about trust. Okay, nobody buys anything if they don't think it's going to work for them, if they don't believe that it is going to solve the problem that they want it to solve. And therefore, these are the areas that you have to focus on if you want to make selling easier. All right, so we're going to start, as we always do, just with a recap of where this particular conversation fits into the growth execution formula. Now, this pulls three distinct elements in. This week, we're starting with product concept. We're then moving through marketing content and then onto sales process. Now, these three are the core three elements. All right, the three most important. Get these three right and you'll be in pretty good shape. The others are important, all 12, but these three are really, really significant. So if you get time, obviously we're going to run through some stuff here, but there is a free booklet. If you go to growtion.co, GROWTION.co, go down to the very bottom of any page, the growth execution booklet is free. It goes in detail into all of these three. All right, so it is the three launch essentials. We are going to do a quick peek at all of them. I'm going to start with product concept. Now, as I say, trust is the thing if you want to sell. All right, trust. How do you build that trust? The primary way you build that trust is by making sure that what you are about, your vision, your mission, everything that you believe is self-evident in all that you do around your business. All right, now it sounds quite complex, sounds perhaps a little bit kind of worthy, but actually what you're doing is you're communicating to your potential audience something really, really powerful and really, really strong, which is essentially that you know their problems, you believe them, you understand them, you recognize them, you see them, and you have gone to the trouble of helping them to fix something that is not perfect in their lives, in their businesses, whatever. All right, so by doing that, by articulating that, by being in a position to share that, what you do is you strike up a kind of rapport with them, even if you don't necessarily do it directly. What they are seeing from your business is something that is consistent and coherent and something that speaks to them. All right, so that is your product concept. That is what you should make sure is essentially kind of strung through all of your business, all of your product, service, and we'll go on to marketing content and then into sales process as well and see how this fits in. But there's two distinct areas of product concept. There is you and there is the problem. First up, you. All right, your history, your experience, your knowledge, everything that you have done to bring you to this point is unique. All right, and it is that which you can package up as a narrative as to why this is something that you are doing, why you have chosen to dedicate this period of your life to this particular pursuit. That story, that narrative, that sequence can be really, really powerful in recruiting people to your cause. And it's not just necessarily customers, although of course, perhaps they are the most important. It's also staff members. It is also investors. It is also explaining it to other people that you need to make sure are on board with this whole enterprise. For example, your significant other. Lots of things come off the back of knowing why you are doing this particular business, what your product concept is. The second piece, as I say, is the problem. It needs to be a problem that is recognizable. So people need to actually be able to nod their heads and go, yeah, do you know what, that is actually a problem, and I recognize it, and it's something perhaps that I have. But it also needs to be significant enough that enough people, A, are going to have the problem, and B, are going to want to pay some money in order to fix it. Because if not enough people have it, then that business is not going to go very far very fast. And if they're not going to be spending money to fix it, then again, you have a distinct challenge, particularly in terms of longevity of your business. So we go a lot deeper into the rest of product, and particularly around how you make sure that the product that you develop fits its market, is servicing the right people, has got the right price point, and so on. All of that is available on the growthexecution.academy website. Go have a look at that if you're interested in any of that. But for now, just be thinking, right, I need to know why me and why this problem. And that is the product concept element that is going to feed through into making your sales easier. Next up, we look at marketing content. All right, marketing content is the articulation of said product concept. All right, the more you repeat what you are here for and why you're solving this particular problem, the more people are going to trust you, the more you're going to be able to very straightforwardly attract people to look a little further and deeper into what you're doing. And also, they are much, much, much more likely to trust you to the point that they are going to buy from you. All right, so it's making sales easier. This is where it's at. Marketing content, really, really, really critical. As I think you guys are pretty familiar with by now, I am a big, big fan of repurposing. So you can, for example, use one single podcast, slice it up into 15 kind of bite-sized videos. Obviously, if you videoed it, which I would heartily recommend, and then you can write like 3 blogs plus off each of the 15 videos, off each of the single podcasts, and you can really create some very powerful marketing that resonates and that also is consistent and coherent. So it constantly tells and retells and then tells again the same story, so that your audience is able to hear exactly what it is that you are, what you're here to do. So the third way for making sales easier is to really interrogate your sales process. All right, so we've got the GATE system here, which is GAIT: gather, assume, iterate, and test. So first of all, when you are going through your sales process, and again, let's just refresh, the sales process is a funnel. It starts with identification of who your target audience is, then it goes through engagement, conversion, and commitment. Okay, so identification, engagement, conversion, commitment. At each stage, what you're trying to do is make more and more people fall down through that funnel. Okay, and this is where GATE comes in. So what you want to do is find out and really make sure you've got the measurements in place that are going to gather the data on how many people are coming into the funnel and are going through each stage. Make some assumptions. They're not always going to be right, but you've got to test, right? You've got to get to a stage where you know and understand what is going to make this funnel wider and what is not. So you've made some assumptions. You're going to iterate then the actual process itself. Perhaps you're going to change some words in your scripting. Perhaps you're going to change some designs around what attracts people to your shop, and then test again. All right, so constantly gathering data, making some assumptions, iterating, and then testing again. And that will make your sales come more easily. All right, it is highly unlikely, although joyful, if you get it right, for you to get it right straight off the bat. But this just continues to hone your skill set, hone your sales operation, and make sure that your sales process is really giving you as many sales as it possibly can. We always like to give you an action every week, as you know. So those 3 elements, those are the things you really need to pay attention to. As I say, go find Growth Execution booklet, bottom of the Growtion.co website. Your action for this week: go away and learn stuff. All right, teach yourself how to produce. All right, how to actually get involved in these particular content creations. This is part of the marketing element, marketing content. So write blogs. Okay, now again, don't go for perfection. You can spend so much time on perfection, trying to make sure you're using exactly the right words, exactly the right punctuation, right? Don't let perfection get in the way of better. All right, don't let perfection get in the way of better. By getting a blog out there, you will be better. So do that. Mixed podcasts. If you are really determined to get your marketing content out there and to make your sales easier, what you're going to want to do is make sure that your voice is being heard, literally in this case, as widely as possible. So a podcast is a great way of speaking to your audience and really reinforcing vocally what it is that you're here to do and why. And then videos. If you can learn the art of editing videos, it's a real skill and it will help you enormously. Even if you're just kind of chopping things up in order to send on to a professional production company to get it done, it will save you thousands of pounds trying to explain what the heck you're on about. Or it will enable you to give, again, those better videos, video representation of what you're trying to say, than it not being there at all. Okay, don't let perfection get in the way. Better. All right, so go teach yourself some new skills. Really important to get to grips with some of those. The recommendation of the week, we always like to give you one of those as well. That's all around StreamYard. Now, right now, I am broadcasting to you via StreamYard, and this will then be recorded and made available on YouTube in the coming days and weeks. It's a great system. Recently acquired, I think, by Hopin, but it's a great system. Really kind of light touch and enables you to really flow live out into, as you can see from here, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, various others. So StreamYard is a really great addition to your media kit. And also, obviously, it enables you to broadcast more widely with the same messaging and help to get your sales done more easily. That's this week's Growth Execution webinar. I hope it has helped you to get an understanding of how you can make your sales easier. There's plenty more, as you know, as ever on the Growtion website, growtion.co. Down the bottom, Growth Execution booklet. At the footer of every page, click on that to get a free booklet that goes through this and summarizes it in a bit more detail. If you need anything, just click on the free growth support, get in touch. More than happy to do 20 minutes dedicated to your business to really help you to grow and to grow fast. We will be back again next week with more growth execution tips on the Growth Execution webinar.